All right, guys, welcome back. Hey, with the massive housing shortage that we're having in the market today, there is no time more than ever to be building spec homes. In this video, I'm gonna be talking with my friend Dan, who is an expert spec home builder, and we're gonna be talking about how to make money building spec homes. Hey guys, welcome to a special episode. Dan Haberkost, this is my friend, and he is the king of building in Pueblo, Colorado. He is gonna break down his system of how to make money guaranteed in building spec homes. All right, Dan, what's going on, man?
Hey, Brent, I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super happy to have you. I know you are the absolute spec home king. We call you the building king in Pueblo, Colorado. Give everyone a little bit of background. Like, tell us about yourself. Tell us what you're doing, what you've accomplished in the last year.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, my name's Dan Haberkost, live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And, I started in the arena of building spec homes in 2018 when I met one of our mutual friends who'd been doing it for twice as long as I'd been alive. And he really taught me how simple it is to build homes. I remember him saying to me, Dan, building houses is child's play. And I thought that that was a very intimidating statement at the time, but 4 years later, and he's absolutely right. So started doing projects with him 4 years ago, and then eventually just, went off and started doing them on my own. So in the current environment, yeah.
Right. Okay, Rich.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the current environment, it just makes sense, right? If you're in a market when nothing's going on, no one's there, and nothing's listed, building houses doesn't work very well. But here in Colorado, where a lot of people are moving, and then just the low interest rates plus a nationwide housing shortage, and everything kind of has come together to make building make a lot of sense right now. And if you do it properly, if you put the pieces and parts in place, and you go after the right land to build on, it can be a almost completely passive endeavor once set up, just like anything else.
So my expertise is land. Yours is by far building, which is child's play when I get to do it with you. We actually are closing on one today, actually.
Yes.
Mustang Drive, which is amazing, and starting on another one on a lot you found that's got a lake view, mountain view. Like, this thing is going to go like crazy. But let's talk about what people want to know is how to make money building spec homes. Let's just say that I'm just getting started. What is one of the fastest way, or the steps to making money the fastest building spec homes?
It's an excellent question. So the very first thing is identifying the right market. I mean, just like anything in real estate, you need to be in the right place, location, location, location. So in this context, finding an area that has infill lots. And what I mean by infill is there's houses on both sides with 2 vacant lots or 1 vacant lot in between. And the significance of that is the utilities are there. All of the preliminary work needing done to develop the land and get it ready to be built on is already in place. So finding a market with infill lots is step number one.
When you say utilities, what do you mean by that?
Oh, great question. So that means water and sewer lines running along the street, electric in the back, gas lines there. All of those things are very, very costly to put into place. So when you find these infill lots, all of that work and money has already been put into the development. So water's ready to be hooked up to, power's in the back, ready to be hooked up to. It makes the whole process simpler and much, much cheaper.
Plug and play, basically.
Exactly. So that has been my niche, both for just flipping lots and for the lots I've built on, infill, making it much, much simpler. Now, step number 2, every market has its own nuances and subtleties, whether it be the soil or zoning setbacks. So step number 2 is finding that subject matter expert who already knows that specific market and learning from them. So that could be the general contractor you end up using, could be the realtor who you end up using to sell your project. You're going to have to talk to people, but instead of making all the mistakes yourself, finding that person who can give you an idea of, hey, this part of town has a bunch of shale. That's an example in my market, right? Where it's very, very, very hard to excavate, making it much more expensive. So things like that are going to vary from different parts of the country, different municipalities. So finding a subject matter expert and figuring out, hey, are people building profitably? What do the margins look like? And what are the common pitfalls or areas to avoid that you wouldn't know if you didn't live here? So that's.
We found that shell you talked about on our Mustang lot. Ended up costing us like $7,000 in excavation. It cost a
Yeah.
little bit more than what we had originally planned because of that shell rock.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Now, thankfully, we didn't have a septic tank. It was city sewer. So it was just excavating for the foundation and it wasn't too bad. But yeah, if we were doing a septic tank, if it was on a larger lot, that could have been far more costly. So that's a perfect example of things that pop up, and it varies very much market to market.
All right. So we walk through the steps, we find the land, we find the builder, which is very important. We want to find a builder that's got a reputation. One we used has already built for another friend of yours that was building some other, like I think he was building duplexes.
Yep.
So we found a very reputable contractor that didn't need to be paid like on every little thing. He can go out and spend, he could pay the subcontractors, like the people that put the HVAC and the sewer line and all that. And then we would reimburse him basically. That's another crazy thing. Like I flip houses as well. And I've run across contractors that they can't go and pay for a light switch without you calling Home Depot and paying for it, which is crazy. Like that's another like plus. I loved dealing with JJ with our contractor.
I just wanted to emphasize that point, guys. One of the biggest things to get right here is finding the right contractor. Like Brent said, someone who's not broke, somebody who is reputable in your market, right? They have examples of projects that they've successfully done in your market, and ideally people you trust refer them to you. So, if you can see a pattern of success, if you're hearing good things from people you know and trust, that's a really good sign, because if you mess things up with the contractor, that can really bite you in the butt, just like with any project in real estate. So yeah, just wanted to emphasize that.
And then another thing is, and you might have been getting to this in your steps, but the realtor that you found with Mustang Drive. I mean, Sarah is absolutely amazing. She's updating me. She's updating you. I think she texted me last night at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night talking about the occupancy that we were supposed to get today to close on the house. So how did you find her?
Gosh, Sarah originally, I think I called her on a lot she had listed down in Colorado City. And it started slow, gave her a couple just small land listings, and she went out of her way. If I had a question and she didn't have an answer, she'd go find it. Or if I casually mentioned something, some sort of problem, she would go solve it. So I have given her more and more business as time goes on because she's earned it.
Yeah, she's extremely resourceful. So she's not only just giving us updates, she's also helping manage the contractor.
Yeah.
On site. I'm in Florida. This property's in Colorado. You are in Colorado Springs. That's like an hour away from where they were building on the Spec property. So let's talk about it. Like, let's get into it. Like how to make the money. Like how long is from beginning of finding the land to closing on the property and getting paid, to make money on a Spec house?
It's going to be somewhere in the 8 to 9, sometimes 10-month range. If you're dealing with infill lots like we are, very important caveat there, because you got to go through all the preliminary steps of getting the plans done, the engineering, survey, all those things that have to be done to then go through the regional building department, get your permit, and actually break ground. That's a conservative estimate. I've got a build going by the fire station down in Pueblo right now, actually, where he is moving along. We broke ground second week in January, and it's almost completely framed out already. So sometimes it can be much quicker, but conservatively more in the 8 to 10 month range from closing on the land to closing on the sale of the new build.
So step 1, find the land, pick the area with the infill lot. Step 2, find the contractor that's going to do this for you. Step 3, get the realtor involved. How soon? How soon do you want the realtor involved?
That depends. But for me, now that commodity prices have stabilized somewhat, we're working on pre-selling these. Generally, pre-sales had always been a great option, but then with wood having gone crazy along with everything, but especially wood, some people got into trouble with having pre-sold their builds. So again, you got to be careful with that. But I am now getting my realtor involved from day one, and she's posting on the MLS as soon as we break ground.
I think that might have gotten us in trouble too. We probably could have sold it for another $25,000, $35,000 if we would have maybe waited about 30 days of it being done. I think we had a buyer almost 4 or 5 months before we were even finished. So be careful about pre-sale. That's a very good point, Dan. Like it's you want to pre-sell it because like you want to have that guaranteed buyer, but what happens when the cost per square foot jumps up on us, or we can't get lumber and
Mhm.
low budget. Now we've got this buyer locked in, and you got to be careful. Like, you can actually lose money on a spec home that way,
Yeah.
pre-selling it fast. So what would you say is the sweet spot, with all your new builds that you've done, or is it like actually listing it?
Yeah, I've settled on having the lumber prices locked in because that's the big variable that's changed. And I'm comfortable listing it and pre-selling it. So yeah, I got all the lumber locked in on Cabaret. So working on get it under contract.
So after the lumber's locked in, nothing else that you're worried about
Well,
locking
well,
in?
that includes then the foundation's done, the lot,
Okay.
all the soft costs are done, right? So we just have a lot of the labor and also all the mechanical infrastructure, appliances, that sort of thing. But the lumber's the big one that scares me. So yeah, I'm comfortable selling it at this point.
All right, you said soft cost. What does that mean? I'm
Oh,
a novice builder here. I've
yes.
only built a couple houses.
Yes. Okay. So to make a simple differentiation here, the hard costs are everything that actually goes into physically building the house. So when you hire that guy to come out, dig the hole, pour the concrete, hard costs, lumber, hard costs, everything before that, the lot, the tap fees, architectural plans, those are all the soft costs, permit fees, so on and so forth. So once you have the permit, you start digging that hole, you're into the hard costs. Everything before that is the soft costs.
I love it. Dan, thank you so much for being so willing to share all the ways to make money with building a spec home. Guys, if you're getting any value at all out of this video, share it with someone that you love, someone that you know, someone that might need to figure out how to make money building spec homes. And guys, if you're interested in learning more about this, Dan will mentor you himself. Dan and I have come out with a program that will actually teach you how to source the land at maximum discounts. So that way, if you totally screw up on building the spec house and pick the wrong realtor, pick the wrong contractor, we literally just had a contractor. This shirt says I flip houses. It should say on the back, I have to I have to cry at night because of it. Because last night, Jen, my acquisition manager, she's running one of our flips, and we found out our painter was painting someone else's cabinets on our living room floor, and the carpet people show up to put the carpet in, and the painter sends them away. And we already paid the painter a deposit of $2,300, and he walked off the job. He walked off the job yesterday. So if you totally screw everything up on the build side, it helps to get the land at a crazy discount. So head on over to ibuildfreedom.com. You can see it on the screen, ibuildfreedom.com. Schedule a call, talk to me or Dan or someone on our team, maybe Jordan, and we'll see if we're a great fit, and we'd be honored to coach you.